Nobody expected the Indianapolis Colts to look like this. A team that spent years searching for direction suddenly feels like one of the most complete squads in football. The energy in that locker room is different now. Every drive, every snap, feels like a team finally waking up after years of noise and disappointment. The shocking part is how fast everything changed. Just a season ago, this franchise was written off as rebuilding. Now they're sitting near the top of the league, playing confident, balanced football that demands respect. What nobody is talking about is how this transformation happened from the inside out. The offensive line that used to collapse is now protecting with pride. The defense that once bent too often now forces turnovers like clockwork. But the biggest shift is at quarterback. Daniel Jones, once a castaway, has turned into the heartbeat of this roster. He's calm, accurate, and fearless under pressure. Every throw looks like a message to the league saying he belongs. The Colts aren't just winning games, they're rewriting the story that once defined them. But here's where it gets interesting. This rise didn't happen by accident. It started with a decision that most people doubted and a player who refused to give up. Daniel Jones didn't just save his career, he helped the Colts rediscover theirs. And as the wins pile up, one question grows louder each week. How did a quarterback everyone gave up on become the spark that lit up Indianapolis? But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Colts and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 250 likes on this video. The Indianapolis Colts placed a bold bet on Daniel Jones, and the league did a double take. A quarterback many wrote off walked into a new city and started playing with calm eyes and fast feet. The twist is simple and shocking at the same time. He looks free. He looks in control. He looks like a leader who finally has the right support and the right voice in his ear. Here is what changed. The timing is sharper, the pocket movement is cleaner, and the ball comes out on rhythm. Against Miami, he went 22 of 29 for 272 yards with smart decisions that killed pressure. At Denver, he answered tough looks with 23 of 34 for 316 yards and kept the ball safe again. Even in the loss to the Rams, he battled for 24 of 33 for 262 yards and kept drives alive with tight window throws. The numbers are not empty. They show growth, trust, and poise when the game speeds up. But the story does not stop with the quarterback. The rise of Daniel Jones connects to the strength around him. The pocket is steady, the targets fit his style, and the ground game buys him clean pictures. If you want to know why his confidence looks real and not a short streak, look at how this roster was built piece by piece. That is where the blueprint starts to shine. The Indianapolis Colts did not stumble into this surge. They built it in the trenches with power, patience, and smart scouting. Quentin Nelson sets the tone with violent hands and clean footwork. Bernhard Raimann locks the blind side and keeps the pocket steady. Braden Smith controls the edge and erases speed rushers. When the core up front wins early, everything else looks easier and the quarterback plays on time. The skill talent fits together like puzzle pieces that actually click. Michael Pittman Jr. wins the hard catches and drags drives forward. Josh Downs separates in short space and turns small throws into fresh sets of downs. Alec Pierce stretches the field and forces safeties to back off. Tyler Warren owns the seams and the red zone windows. Jonathan Taylor punishes light boxes and makes defenses choose between stopping him or bracketing the outside. It is balance with real bite. Here's the twist that pushes this story forward. A roster can be strong and still waste motion without the right plan. In Indianapolis, the parts are loaded and the roles are clear, and now the play designer is about to take center stage. The next piece of this rise is how Shane Steichen turns that talent into simple reads, fast rhythm, and shots that land where defenses are weakest. The Indianapolis Colts unlocked a system that turns pressure into clean answers and chaos into easy throws. Shane Steichen hides intent until the last second, then hits defenses where their rules break. One snap looks like a run, the next snap from the same picture becomes a dagger down the seam. The shocking part is how simple it feels for the quarterback and how confusing it becomes for everyone else on the field. Here is how it works. Motion forces coverage tells, bunch sets create free releases, and play action marries the wide zone, so linebackers freeze just long enough for Michael Pittman Jr. to win outside or Josh Downs to snap open underneath. Bootlegs change the launch point so the rush cannot tee off. Shot plays come from the same formations as the quick game, so corners cannot guess and jump routes. When Indianapolis wants to squeeze the clock, Jonathan Taylor hammers light boxes. When they want to stretch it, Alec Pierce clears space vertically, and Tyler Warren punishes the windows. Protection rules stay firm with slides, chips, and max looks when needed, which keeps the reads honest and the ball on time. But here is the twist that sets up what comes next. A scheme only matters if it holds up after a tough Sunday, and the league just watched this plan answer every test in a statement win. The real question is what happens when a hot offense meets a proud opponent fresh off a loss. The answer showed up against Las Vegas, and it changed the tone of the season. Nobody expected the Indianapolis Colts to flip the mood this fast after the Rams loss. Yet they walked into the Raiders game with a calm edge and turned doubt into urgency. The first drive looked shaky, then everything clicked, and the offense started finishing with real authority. Each series felt like a quiet promise that this team can take a punch, steady itself, and answer with points. Daniel Jones set the tone with smart, clean football. He went 20 of 29 for 212 yards, added 2 touchdowns, and took 0 sacks, which tells you the pocket was calm and the reads were crisp. Jonathan Taylor hammered the red zone with 3 rushing touchdowns. Amir Abdullah added another, and the total hit 6 touchdowns on the day. Field position swung their way after a block punt and a couple of short fields. But the bigger story was poise. The offense did not chase explosives, it stacked first downs, then cashed in at the goal line. Here is where the story tilts towards something even bigger. The defense kept handing the ball back in scoring range and forced the Raiders to play from behind. Sacks arrived in key moments, penalties were created, and a takeaway inside the 10 turned into instant points. That is the heartbeat of a complete team, and it leads to the real question waiting ahead. Who made that defensive surge possible, and how sustainable is it over the next month? The Indianapolis Colts are winning with pride on offense, but the quiet storm is the defense that keeps stealing moments. Coach Lou turns small details into big swings. One snap shows pressure, the next snap drops into a trap, and the ball ends up going the other way. The shocking part is how the names you hear less often keep changing games. DeForest Buckner sets the tone inside, Grover Stewart closes lanes, Kwity Paye edges the pocket, and teammates feed off that surge. Look at how it all connects. 4 sacks came from 4 different players against Las Vegas, which tells you the rush is shared and the plan is sound. Zaire Franklin fired once and landed clean. Tyquan Lewis scored the first hit. Samson Ebukam finished late when the pocket finally cracked. On the back end, Cameron Bynum tracked deep shots, and Charvarius Ward won tight routes, which forced throws into traffic. Mickey Blackman baited one and took it away. When front and coverage move as one, the field shrinks and the offense gets the ball in prime spots. The Indianapolis Colts keep rolling when most teams would slow down. One player goes down and another steps in like the plan never changed. That is not luck. That is a roster built with layers. The twist is how quiet these moves look from the outside while they change everything inside the game. A new leg arrives at kicker in Michael Badgley to steady special teams, and the mood stays calm. Grover Stewart returns to full work in practice, and the front looks heavier again. This is what winning depth feels like. Watch how the next man up turns into the right man for the moment. Matt Goncalves comes back at right guard, and the pass protection stiffens against top edge rushers. Ashton Dulin grabs a bigger role and moves the chains when coverage tilts toward Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs. Tyler Warren keeps drawing attention in the middle, and that opens grass for Alec Pierce as he pushes toward full speed again. Even late carries from DJ Giddens show how fresh legs can close a game without wearing down starters. Different names, same standard. Colts fans, how far do you see this team going? Drop your record pick in the comments, then hit like and subscribe so you do not miss the deep dive on the timing and chemistry that power this attack.